what you see now is the person I've grown into over the last 30 years. And I wish there was one particular moment I could tell people, hey, this is the thing you need to do, or this is the thing you need to seek, or whatever it is. But I haven't found that there's like this shortcut to living your most intentional life other than doing it, like being in integrity, spending time creating that awareness around what it is that you actually desire in life and continually having devotion towards that. So I think one aspect that's been a key for me is how to tune into my own inner knowing and execute on that. If I go way back, so there was architecture school, there was studying graphic design, there were all these avenues that I started to take that didn't honestly make a lot of sense at the time. I've stocked grocery shelves. I've been a waitress. I have, been a creative director. I went to journalism school. There are so many life paths that I sort of started and stopped all through my 20s that didn't really make a lot of sense at the time. But those, now looking back, I was gaining tools. I was gaining knowledge. I was mining. I was figuring out my yeses and nos. And sometimes you only figure out those yeses and nos through action and through direct action and through lived experience. Yeah. So I had to live through so many different experiences to go, hey, you know what? My conditioning and my younger self thinks that I need to go and achieve and show up in the world in a certain way. Like I thought I had to go into maybe business or architecture or just more of a prestigious academic environment because that was who I was for the majority of my life. Yeah. And starting this whole social media journey actually had a lot of resistance and a lot of like inner self-judgment because I felt like it was silly. I felt like it was something that was less meaningful than what my friends were doing. It was less noble. It was less prestigious. And it took a lot of, I guess, a trust and just leaning into the curiosity of what this could be. Yeah. That at the time was a bit scary and didn't really make sense. And especially if you figure 6-7 years ago, it was not a known career as much as it is now to be a content creator. Mm-hmm. And I was leaving a job that was quite lovely. I was making great money. I was enjoying my coworkers. Everything about it was great. Or it just was not. Yeah. There's this aspect between living a life that is good and even in some ways great and very comfortable, and living a life that feels like you are living your purpose. Mm. And that is what this career has done for me. Is it's forced me into some really uncomfortable places, and it's forced me to be the most radically honest, vulnerable, it's just forced me to show up the hardest that I can in life, which is very surprising to me. I never anticipated this. And so I would say it's just been a journey of leaning into my curiosity and intuition of like, what is the next one right thing that feels interesting to me? Right. And I don't have to do it forever. I thought I was going to be doing social media I was like, 6 months, a year. I told my old boss, I was like, I'll probably come back, And that was 7 years ago. And I could not be more grateful that I at least opened that door and said, hey, what could this be? Yeah. And am I okay with sitting in that discomfort of thinking that maybe this isn't what other people respect or what other people think I should be doing? Because there's something there. There's a sparkle for me there. There's an enthusiasm for me there that feels interesting. Yeah. And that was the first thing of designing a life that I really wanted to live. Yeah. I love that. I think it's so important in the discovery of finding the life that you do want to live, you a lot of times have to experience the life that you don't want to live. Totally. And
if you look at what most people actually regret in life, it's not what they've done, it's what they didn't do. It's what they had this like inner whisper, but they didn't listen to it. And then 10, 20 years go by and they have the question of what if? And that could be so painful for so many. And so I think it's really beautiful that you were at the place where you could jump into the unknown and say, I don't know if this is going to be successful. I don't know if this is going to be something I even like, but I have this inner itch, this inner curiosity and calling. And I think we can all learn from that story of listening to what are our passions? What are the things that we would do if time and money were no issue? Is it taking photos? Is it free diving? Is it acro yoga? These are all things that you love doing. But it could be, I don't know why I always say like basket weaving. It's just like the most random thing ever. But like literally whatever it is that brings you joy, can you find yourself in devoting yourself to those creative endeavors and passions? And if you get great at anything, you can turn it into a lifestyle and a career. I truly believe that you can monetize literally anything, turn business into from anything.